revealing to you the best fragrances online that are currently on discount. I've gone through 5 different websites for you guys today, going through 2 fragrances as examples in each of these websites to sort of make you aware of these websites in general, but also talk about specific fragrances I think are fantastic that are on discount. It doesn't really matter if the discount isn't available to your region. A lot of times you can find these fragrances on discount based on where you live, or you kind of just have to wait for a later point in time. I mean, these discounts are going to go out of date very quickly. By the time you watch this video, only the people who are really watching this very soon will be able to grab these deals. But hopefully discounts always come back around and you kind of just learn about new fragrances, you learn about new websites. So hopefully this video just stays useful in that way. So don't be saddened if you can't find it in your region. Just take the general examples and lessons from this video, if you know what I mean. Let's begin. First off, we're starting off with Nuit, one of my long-time favorite fragrance websites. I've used for like maybe 5 years now. I've used it for a long time. It's one of the first fragrances I really started using when I started getting onto discount websites when I was collecting more seriously. And Nuit is just classic. They're great. They used to do samples as well back in the day. They don't do them anymore. I think they only do full bottle samples. And they do a variety of other categories in the beauty category. So other things like makeup, hair, skin, body, etc. But fragrance is one of their hallmarks, and I think they're just a solid website I can wholly recommend. You're not going to be afraid of getting scammed by them, for example. The first fragrance they have here is Mancera's Oud Lemon Mint. So it's not a huge discount. If you look on their website right now, it's 5% off, but that's £81 to £77 for a 120 ml bottle of this size. I just think the default price here anyways is just already excellent. So actually it doesn't really matter if it gets discounted. £77 for this size bottle for this fragrance is phenomenal. If you're looking for a beastly summer fragrance, Oud Lemon Mint is what you're going to be looking for. This is one of the strongest warm weather fragrances you can buy. And even though it's super strong, I find it super refreshing at the same time, which is really impressive. It smells like lemon sherbet candy in the opening, drying down to this synthetic but really pleasant, musky, woody oud. So it is synthetic, but I just find it still super attractive regardless. And it lasts 14 hours with a medium to loud projection. This is a beastly performer for a warm weather signature. I think it is fairly easy to understand. It's fairly simple, fairly linear, but it's still creative enough to warrant a full bottle purchase. This price is excellent, and that performance is what really gets this on my radar for me personally, and that's why I recommend it to you guys. So usually, no matter where you are based in the world, you can usually find this on discount somehow, somewhere, and at some point in time. Next up, we have La Nuit de l'Homme Le Parfum by YSL. The 60 ml has a 12% discount, so £60, roughly £60 for 60 ml, or the 100 ml has a 33% discount. It's now being sold for £86.20, so that's better value for money. But I think this flanker is super underrated. I don't think you need it if you already own Blue Electric. I kind of think that might be the best version of La Nuit de l'Homme, but it's not redundant to own both Blue Electric and Le Parfum. Le Parfum is different in its own way in general from the rest of the line. It has more of a peppery, spicy, punchy, and fruity take on the DNA. I see this as the more sexy, naughty, bad boy-esque version of La Nuit de l'Homme, which is originally a very romantic fragrance. So if you want like a safe romantic scent, you go for the original. If you want something a bit more playful, a bit more sexy and sensual, then Le Parfum is really underrated. It's such a beautiful fragrance that not a lot of people talk about. I got 6 hours longevity from it, and I think it's just a really sexy evening scent. I think you can wear both in dates and just casual going out in general, even in parties, for example. So I think it's a really underrated fragrance, and I'm glad it's on discount. Hope more of you check it out. 32% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys want to see our channel grow, to really help us out, click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. So Notino is good for you guys, both in the UK and in the EU. And then we also have another website called All Beauty, which I've purchased several times from as well myself. Can also highly recommend them. One of their first fragrance discounts they have here is Montblanc Legend Spirits, which I actually have my bottle of right here. So usually £49 being sold for £24.50, so that's a 50% discount. And this fragrance was meant to be originally a clone of Invictus Acqua 2016. That's my, I think, fair assessment based on if you've smelled those 2 fragrances, they're very similar. But this is just a very easy blind buy, actually, I think. It's a very easy to like bubblegum, musky, bright citrus fragrance. Kind of smells a little bit fresh out of the shower. It's very easy to love this. This lasts about 6 hours. Some people say they only get 2 hours. Some people say they get longer than that. It really depends on how anosmic, how easily nosebine you go to the musks in here. This is a fairly musky fragrance, but it's such a super easy, casual, fun, youthful summer scent. But I think even older guys can rock it if you just don't mind like a super casual scent. Fantastic fragrance. It's based on the Invictus line, so you know it's going to be mass appealing. I really think this is a steal for the price. It's a really easy blind buy, actually. And then a fragrance I used to own, Antonio Banderas Blue Seduction, which has gone from £32 to £16. This fragrance is a good cheapie. I used to own this. It smelled like a smooth, aquatic watermelon freshie, like a really nice, smooth and seductive summer fragrance. Sort of like if you enjoy tropical fragrances like Millicent Imperial, Virgin Island Water, enjoy Versace Mano Fresh, those kind of fragrances, that kind of vibe, you'll enjoy this. This is a really nice fragrance for the price. The quality smells very nice. It's not the best performer. I remember getting about 4 hours, but it doesn't smell screechy. You think like the blend for £16, you think the blend might be, you know, a bit of a mess, but it really isn't. This is even potentially cheaper than Nautica Voyage at this point. So 100 ml for £16, that's very good. And Nautica Voyage smells a little bit screechy. This does not. So if you want a really smooth, cheapie that probably smells actually more expensive than its price tag, then consider Antonio Banderas Blue Seduction. A great victory for celebrity fragrances. Going over to North America, fragrancebuy.ca is a fantastic website. Great if you want to find obscure fragrances, if you want to find Middle Eastern clones, and if you want to find niche fragrances on discount. It's a really good website, so both for you guys in Canada and in the US, check this website out. We have Versace Pour Homme, currently being sold 50 ml for 50 Canadian dollars, that's about 25 pounds. That's a steal for Versace Pour Homme. Again, another safe blind buy in my opinion. Of course, bear in mind, all blind buys have some risks to them, but some are much safer than others, of course. Versace Pour Homme is musky, citrusy, light, sharp, invigorating. Just a really easy dumb reach in the summertime. You can buy 200 ml really if you really like the DNA that much. It's super mass appealing. Overspray to your heart's content, really. It's not a bad fragrance to overspray. And you're just gonna smell clean and fresh in the summertime. People are gonna like this. Made by Alberto Moreira. It's one of the classic fragrances out there. It's kind of timeless. I think it's almost 20 years old now, but it still stands the test of time. I get 6 hours longevity, but you can easily try this fragrance in store if you really want to and see how long it lasts on your skin. Again, this is quite a musky fragrance, so it depends on your nose and how easily it can detect the musks for how long. And then we have Haramain's Detour Noir. So again, I was discussing about the Middle Eastern clones on this website. So Detour Noir, 100 ml for 37 Canadian dollars. That's what, about 18 pounds. And that, you know, Detour Noir is usually at this price anyways, but this is just such a fantastic price for such a fantastic fragrance. I've said it before, this is a 10 out of 10 clone fragrance in my opinion. It does a really great job of cloning Parfum de Marly's Layton, sweet apple pie perfumery with a fresh powderiness in there, with some nice vanillic rose as well in the backbone. Really beautiful signature material. The bottle is weird, yes. The bottle shape is a horror show, but it's a super sexy fragrance. It's such a high quality fragrance for the price you're paying. This is insane for the price actually. 10 hours longevity, great blend, great use of ingredients here. It's not going to be as high quality as Layton, but you're definitely getting a much better value for money from Detour Noir than you are with Layton. It doesn't completely kill Layton, but this is just a fantastic clone in general. Definitely recommend you check it out. Then we have Joma Shop, another website I've purchased from before. Great website. They do a variety of things like watches as well as other categories like handbags, jewelry, but they're generally solid discounters as well. You can find some good bargains in here. Probably not as much as Fragrance Buy, but it's still worth knowing about. And we have Rasasi Hawas here as one of their fragrances on sale. Now, $41.50 for a 100 ml. That's pretty impressive. Usually, apparently it's $92, so that's around, what, more than 50% off. This is a very good price for Rasasi Hawas. This used to be a cheap fragrance, but then the online community kind of hyped it to oblivion and it became an expensive fragrance afterwards, or like a mid-range fragrance. And you know, the big image here shows the purple juice, which I have. It's beastly, 12 hours long, aquatic bubblegum perfumery with a slight Middle Eastern twist, super mass appealing, super strong, loud projection. It's a beast mode freshie, essentially. If you're looking again for another strong summer fragrance with a high compliment factor, then Rasasi Hawas will do it for you. So if you like the Invictus style DNA, where you want a stronger, a little bit more Middle Eastern, this fragrance is definitely something that should be on your radar. I've mentioned this many, many times already. Although bear in mind for Rasasi Hawas, that was a Valentine's Day sale, so maybe by the time we're even editing this video, You might not see the same numbers on your screen, but hopefully you get Rasasi Hawas cheap at some point from somewhere. Then we have Mancera's Instant Crush. Again, another Valentine's Day sale, $180 down to $95 US. That is fantastic for a full 120 ml. That is a fantastic deal. You only kind of ever need one bottle of Instant Crush in your life and it will last you forever, because like 2 sprays of this fragrance will project and fill up a room anyways. You don't need that much to be applied. And this is basically what I would say Mancera's take on the Baccarat Rouge DNA. It's that bright, ambery, sweet, sugary fragrance DNA, but made a bit more thick, creamy, floral, a little bit more Middle Eastern with Instant Crush compared to Baccarat Rouge. So it's a very intense, thick, vanillic, playful scent that will turn heads. I think is unisex, leaning at maybe a tiny bit feminine, but I think us guys can definitely rock it. I remember getting about 14 hours longevity with my bottle, loud projection, so it's a fantastic head toner you should check out, especially if you like Baccarat Rouge. And then finally, I will shortly mention feelingsexy.com.au, based in Australia. I know you guys in the land down under are struggling to find a lot of good fragrance discounters. Unless I'm wrong, tell me in the comments down below if you know any more, but Feeling Sexy is one of the few that I could find. I don't have the most amazing discounts, but I have a few. I'm going to just quickly mention 2 I found here. Al Haramain's Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. This is a great clone of Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. Pretty much very, very similar. It's very, very similar actually. It's extremely impressive and it lasts just as long as around 10 hours. So if you want a clone that might actually make Tobacco Vanille redundant, then go for this Amber Oud Tobacco Edition. They've got it here from 145 Aussie dollars to 115 Aussie dollars, which is pretty good. I think it's a very reasonable price. And they also have Salvatore Ferragamo's Acqua Essenziale Blue from 109 Australian dollars to 80 Australian dollars. A very good deal as well. This is a nice fragrance that is an affordable blue scent. It's kind of in a similar price range to Dylan Blue. Dylan Blue smells a little bit more synthetic, a little bit more youthful. This smells more smoothly blended, similar performance. It smells a tiny bit more mature. It's a very smooth blue DNA, focused more around the note of tonka beans. It's a little bit more creamy. It smells a little bit more fruity as well, in my opinion. I think it was also made by Alberto Marias. And that concludes today's video, guys. I should actually emphasize that none of these websites have sponsored today's video. These are just the suggestions I'm giving out to you guys, some discounters that hopefully you can go check out. It helps you out a bit. And again, don't fret if you can't find these deals at the time that you're watching this video, you can't find it in your region. A lot of these fragrances, they will be on discount somewhere or at some time. So have a look around. At least you're learning about these fragrances if you don't know them already. I think these are great fragrances, all that have been mentioned today. You can go check them out. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. What are some other great fragrances that are on discount that you think more people should know about? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out our previous video on where you should buy fragrances online for the best deals. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.